Hey, old fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Foot Up Eagles Now here on a Wednesday. And instead of doing my own mock draft, I did one of those just a couple of days ago. You can check it out on the channel. Mel Kiper Jr. released his latest first-round mock draft. And since Philadelphia has 3 first-round draft picks, I took a look at it. I was surprised by some picks, and I decided to go ahead and share those with you here today on the video. So, of course, for those of you who are brand new to the channel, you're getting ready for the draft. All begins on April 28th, Thursday. I mean, what is today? Today is Wednesday, March 2nd. So we are less than 2 months away, essentially, from the NFL Draft. They have 10 picks in the NFL Draft this year. Does Philadelphia? We'll see those in just 1 second. 15 overall is their first one. And according to Mel Kiper's mock draft, he has them taking not only positions of need, as we'll see, wide receiver, linebacker, cornerback, defensive end, offensive line. Those are my big positions of need in no particular order. But he also has them spending all 3 draft picks, which is kind of the big question mark right now. Do you trade out? Do you trade back? Do you trade up? Do you trade for a quarterback? I want to keep all 3. So does Mel Kiper, according to the mock draft we will see in just 1 second. Here are those 10 draft picks, though. Quickly, we'll go through them. 15 overall in the first round, 16 overall, 19 overall. Ooh, it's so exciting. So many first-round draft picks. 51 overall in round 2. That is a very... I think important pick because it could be traded to go up or down if you wanted to. 83 overall in round 3. And then you get into the day 2, or I should say day 3 stuff. Whenever you go for round 4, 3 in round 5, and 2 in round 6. They will for sure be making deals with those later round draft picks. The odds of them taking 10 players in this year's draft is unlikely. They're going to make some moves expected, but those are, of course, your first 10 picks, your only 10 picks for the Philadelphia Eagles. Add right pin comment down below before we get started here with Mel Kiper's mock. Who do you want the Eagles to draft in round 1? Let me know who you're leaning to. I change a lot. I mean, Sauce Gardner, David Ojabo, Devin Lloyd, Nakobe Dean. I move around a lot. What are you thinking right now? Who do you want the Eagles to draft in round 1? Now, of course, I'm going to do my own mock draft a little bit later on, probably next week, I think, is what the schedule is showing for. Maybe the week after. Either way, I did one mock draft. I'm going to do a lot more leading into April, and so subscribe down below for great draft coverage. I think we do a pretty good job here on the channel. I like to pat my own chest there, puff out my own chest, pat my own back as it goes. If you guys like the content, a lot of you guys have, a lot of new subscribers. Welcome. Go down below and subscribe. All right, so it's important before we get into the 15th overall draft pick in Mel Kiper's mock draft to show you who was already gone, right? Because the pick is at 15, I don't really like at a glance. Then you see the list of 5 players that are gone here, and you go, oh, I guess this makes sense. Devin Lloyd inside the top 10, can't take him. That would stink if he would have turned out to be a giant. That's where Kiper has him going. Ahmad Gardner goes to the Atlanta Falcons. That's another pick I love at 15 overall. Drake London, 9 to the Browns. Drake London has been a mock top 10 draft pick in every single mock I've seen. If it comes true, I'll be a little bit surprised, but apparently he's a freak. They're saying that a lot at the Combine as well. Tyler Linderbaum went 10 to the Jets, and Derek Stingley went 14, 1 pick away from our Eagles with the Vikings. Jermaine Johnson and Garrett Wilson were also gone. That's a lot. That's like 7 players that I would take at 15 overall if the other 6 were not available. But of course, that means Mel Kiper has a little bit less to work with. So with 15 overall draft pick, Mel Kiper had the Eagles taking Trent McDuffie, the cornerback out of Washington. And then just like me, you're saying, Thomas, Trent McDuffie, what does Trent McDuffie do? I didn't watch a lot of Washington games last year. I didn't either. I had to put the film on because obviously I have other players. Roger McCreary is an option. Who's the guy out of Clemson as well? I'm blanking on him right now. But there were 2 other cornerbacks that I liked better than McDuffie. And my overall board, I have him as cornerback 5. So going number 3 here, the third cornerback taken at 15 overall, does mean he has something to offer. And Kiper talked about that as well as saying that he plays great in man coverage. He plays fantastic in zone coverage as well, which Philadelphia can kind of mix back and forth on. Darius Slay plays a lot of man, but you can also play a lot of man with zone cover, 2-man, whatever you want to do from a defensive perspective. He has great on-ball technique in terms of breaking up passes. Where he struggles in the film that I watched is the technique in terms of being a press man corner. He's more of a bail corner, right? So he's going to line up in press man and then bail out of there. Doesn't get a lot of hand work in terms of getting bump and run coverage. That to me is a little bit of a bummer, but of course he can always improve and always learn on it, but more of a bail technique corner than anything else. He can also play in the slot, which Philadelphia doesn't necessarily need a slot cornerback, but technically if you don't believe in Avonte Maddox right now, I'm blanking on him in my mind, Avonte Maddox right now, then maybe you could have a future slot cornerback, although I don't like the idea of taking a slot cornerback with this, need at cornerback at 15 overall. So McDuffie is an interesting pick. It's my least favorite of the ones that we're going to see here today. I would rather have gone linebacker because Nakobe Dean was available here, and even though I think they need a cornerback, they need a middle linebacker a little bit worse, I would say. And so not thrilled with this pick, but it's Mel Kiper, and so he always throws some weird things out there, and this is one of the first weird mocks at 15 overall that I've seen. I wanted to share it with you guys. Would you rather go cornerback or linebacker here, right? With all the cornerbacks that are gone, I'd rather go linebacker in my opinion, although of course if, Ahmad Gardner would have been available, would have taken him. Devin Lloyd would have taken him, but that's how mock drafts go. Some guys are gone. Who you want? Who would you rather have had at cornerback or linebacker? Or at 15, cornerback or linebacker. CB for cornerback, LB for linebacker. 16 overall, they have David Ojabo, who I also mocked in my mock draft at 16 overall as well, the defensive end out of Michigan. I consider him a top 4 pass rusher in this draft. Some consider him a top 3 pass rusher behind, of course, Thibodeau and Aiden Hutchinson out of Michigan. Karlaftis, Thibodeau, Hutchinson, like they were all already gone, so you couldn't get Karlaftis at this position in this mock draft. And Philadelphia, as we know, were one of the worst teams rushing the passer last year in terms of actual sacks, 31st in the league in 2021. They only had 29, which we know, not that good. Ojabo, again, for those of you guys that didn't watch my mock draft, I said it before, hadn't played a lot of football, immigrated over here and kind of started picking it up later on in the high school years, early college years, so he has a ton of potential, just not a lot of, I think, built up skill and built up reps in, a major college program. Even with that being said, he had 11 sacks last year. So you give me, the Eagles defensive line coaches and the Eagles coaches as a whole, you think you could turn an 11-sack kind of raw guy into a double-digit sack in the NFL? I think that they could, and obviously a need of a pass rusher is huge, and so I would definitely go ahead and be fine with Ojabo there at number 16. We'll get into number 19, might be my favorite pick of Mel Kiper's mock draft. Just one second. First, the hat and t-shirt combo is back for $30. It's 25% off, normally $40. See it on your screen right now. It's getting hot in Atlanta, where I live. I live in the South. It's going to be a high of like 73 today, and so got to get the hat, got to get the t-shirt. Pick it up right now, chatsports.com/Eagles combo. Link will be down below in the description box right now. This one is selling pretty quick, so I pick it up right now. That way, they have it in your size. Get it ordered, get it shipped right to your house here pretty darn quickly. 25% off. Again, it's a pretty darn good sale. This is when I do most of my Eagle gear shopping is in the off season. I just got a jersey a couple of days ago because they're on, normally on sale, or they're normally at a good price, and then you can wear them in the off season. Then you're obviously ready for week 1 of 2022. Pick it up right now. Link is down below. Grab your hat and your t-shirt. All right, final pick here. You guys know he's my favorite wide receiver in this draft. It's Treylon Burks, the wide receiver out of Arkansas. He slid in this mock draft and was available at 19, and so naturally Philadelphia and Mel Kiper, at Mel Kiper's bidding, went ahead and took him. A weapon on the outside. You need you obviously need a wide receiver. Now this pick will really depend on what they do in free agency. If you sign somebody, then you don't need to draft somebody. If you trade for DK Metcalf or Calvin Ridley, you don't need to draft for somebody. You guys get the point. But obviously Kiper is going off the idea they didn't go ahead and add somebody, hence why he takes a wide receiver here. Burks is my favorite, and the numbers don't lie, right? I mean, the hips don't lie for Shakira. The numbers don't lie for Treylon Burks. I mean, the guy's insane. He's an absolute beast. I highly encourage you guys, instead of me telling you how great he is, after this video, just look up Treylon Burks in the YouTube search bar and look up the highlights. Him at Arkansas, just watch him. You'll fall in love, just like I did. So just go ahead, try it. And obviously, again, they will need to add a wide receiver depending on what they do in free agency. If they don't do anything in free agency, then you for sure have to add a wide receiver. Or if they add kind of a mediocre receiver, like not a number 1 or a number 2, kind of like a Russell Gage out of Atlanta or a Byron Pringle out of Kansas City, then you can still see them drafting a receiver in the first round. He also met with Philadelphia at the Combine yesterday, so obviously getting a little FaceTime there with the front office. So here is your 3 picks in the Mel Kiper's mock draft. Trent McDuffie, the cornerback from Washington, David Ojabo, the pass rusher from Michigan, and Treylon Burks, the wide receiver from Arkansas, to round out the 3 picks. What do you think? Grade the mock draft, A, B, C, D, or F. I would give this a B-, right? And the minus comes via the McDuffie pick. Now, I don't think enough about McDuffie to feel confident about taking him at number 15 overall. I would rather have gone to Nakobe Dean, got a cornerback in round 2. That, to me, would have been a very darn good one if you would have gone Nakobe Dean, who was the only linebacker available, Ojabo, and then Burks. I would give that an A, but this one right here, I'll go ahead and give a B-. I want your thoughts, though, and your grade down below. Before we go ahead and end, I just want to quickly show you where some of the other targets landed, who Philadelphia passed up on in Mel Kiper's mock draft. Malik Willis was a Steeler at number 20. I don't want him, but that's just where he went, because everyone wants to know. Nakobe Dean, 22, to the Raiders. Chris Olave, the wide receiver from Ohio State, who I'm a fan of, went to the Cardinals. Karlaftis went to the Cowboys at 24, and Jameson Williams went to the Packers at 28 overall. And so, as we wrap up today's video, I just want to emphasize that this mock draft is pretty accurate, I think. Like, Kiper's mock shows draft realities, and the idea that Devin Lloyd and Ahmad Gardner and Drake London and Treylon, like the Eagles are going to have to just pick it a lot at number 15 overall is unlikely, because if you and I see potential in a player, think what front offices are seeing. And a guy like Devin Lloyd, who I want to be there at 15, and I don't think he's going to be there anymore. I think someone's going to take him a lot earlier than the Eagles want. Now, we'll wait and see, but I think that the idea of showing you mock drafts, especially from like Kiper and Todd McShay, is they are up to date in who they talk to, they're up to date in the realities of the draft, and I want to show you guys that it's not going to be just the 3 best defensive players possible. It's going to be kind of mixing and matching to get the right guy in the right fit. You guys do want me to do my own mock draft in the future, right? Like, I think that you do. If you do, type Y down below for yes. If you do not, then go ahead and type N down below for no. as promised in the last video, shout out to our 10 newest subscribers. We'll go through them right now. Congrats on joining the best Eagle channel on YouTube, and I appreciate you subbing. King Chaz, X-Fatal Dynasty Apex Legends. I used to play Apex Legends, not anymore. Nick Caruso, Steven Zaglin, and Cody Lee. And then the other 5 are Arturo Martinez, Cool Reigns, Ilmontic7, I think that's your name, Scary Berry Gaming, and Matthew Kreisman to go ahead and round out the 10 newest subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, go down below and hit that red button. Of course, ultimately for today on our Eagles Mel Kiper mock draft look around. We have a news and rumor video tomorrow, a mailbag video going out this weekend, plenty more content. Make sure you guys are subscribed. For Philadelphia Eagles Now, Thomas Mott signing off for the rest of your day.